Hey everyone, in previous lecture I already discussed syllabus of DBMS, introduction to DBMS and abstraction of DBMS. There are three levels: physical level, logical level and view level. Next I will discuss instances and schema. At any particular moment, whatever data is present, that's called as instances, and the overall structural design called as schema. So let's see the definition of instances. The collection of information stored in the database at a particular moment is called as instances of the database. So at any particular time, whatever data is there, that's called as instances of that database. And what is schema? Schema is the structural design. The overall design of the database is called as database schema. And database schema include the variable and its type at any particular moment for data that variable contain, that's called as instances of the database. So the value of the variable in a program at a point of time correspond to instances of the database schema. Database schema that includes variable declaration including type definition, whether it's integer, character, string. And there are three types of abstraction: physical level, logical level and view level. So depending on that, there are physical schema and logical schema. Physical schema describe the database design at physical level, whereas logical schema describe the database design at logical level. So the structure that we used at logical level called as logical schema, whereas the structure that we used at physical level called as physical schema. And for view level, sometimes we used as sub schema, as there can be multiple view for the same database. So that's called as sub schema that describe different view of the database. If an application program is not aware of the physical schema, like not aware of the physical level, it's called as physical data independence. If we are just working on the logical level without knowledge of the physical level, that's called as physical data independence. Okay, so application program are said to exhibit physical data independence if they do not depend on physical schema. They just work on logical schema and not dependent on physical schema, called as physical data independence. Next we'll discuss data model. There are different data models based on time. So data model is a collection of conceptual tool for describing data, data relationship, data semantics and consistency constraint. So data model give a way how we can design the database in physical level, logical level and view level. There are different data model. First one is relational model. Relational model is based on relation. Relation is basically a table, and table is a collection of column and rows. Each column is for each attribute and each row is for each entity. So the relational model uses a collection of table to represent both data and relationship among those data. And for this table, each table has multiple column and each column has unique name. Basically, each column is for particular attribute. Table are also known as relations. Each row called as record. Next is entity relationship model. The entity relationship or ER data model uses collection of basic object called as entity and relationship among those objects. What is entity? Entity are the things or object that are distinguishable from other object. It have some properties or character through which we can distinguish it from the other. And there are relationship between entities. So ER model that describe the entity and its relationship. Next is object-based data model. It uses the object-oriented programming like Java, C++, C#. Next is semi-structured data model. The semi-structured data model permits the specification of data where individual data item of the same type may have different set of attribute. Okay, means individual data item may have different type of attribute. So XML is an example of semi-structured data model. In today's lecture, I discussed instances, schema and data model. In next lecture, I will start ER model. For more about introduction, refer the course book. I am not teaching in detail because everything will cover again. If this lecture is helpful for you, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.